Good morning. Good morning. What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Kyle Rice, the MPT Prep Coach, founder of the PT Hustle, creator of the MPT Prep Success Coaching Program. And I got a message on Facebook. And it was a student, and the student was asking me, like, hey, listen, I'm not doing so well on my PET exam. We had a PET exam to take in PT school as an exit exam. And I had to take that, but I didn't get the score that I was looking for. I didn't pass it, Kyle. And now they're going to make me take this thing again. I got like 550. What am I going to do? I have to be able to get a 600 in order for me to actually graduate and for them to release me and let me take the actual MPTE. What the heck do I do? Oh, here's the kicker though, y'all. He has to take the exam by July the 10th. All right. So it's coming up really quickly. How can we improve our score between the practice test or the comprehensive exam we just took and then the one that's coming up on July 10th. So how do we change our score that quickly? Well, here's the deal. I learned something really important, over the past few years, that we can look to other professions, whether it be sports, whether it be healthcare, whether it be architecture, construction, whatever it is. We can look to all these other professions. And when we do that, we can look at what's like working in other professions and how we can apply it to our own profession or how we can apply it to our own life. For instance, like in sports, there's a guy named Steph Curry, LeBron James as well. There's a lot of great ones, whether you like them or not. They're great basketball players. Now, I'm going to pull out Steph Curry for a moment because he's one of the guys that I look up to so much because he has so many repetitions that he goes through every single day. If you're not familiar with Steph Curry, he is a basketball player. He plays for the Golden State Warriors. Excellent player. Now, here's the deal. The one thing is that he puts up a lot of repetitions every single day, trying to shoot from the free throw line to the three-point line just over and over and over and over again, right? In all these different places. Now, why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because Steph Curry has a very interesting method for how he improves his performance between one game and the next. You might say, well, it's very difficult for you to become a significantly better player between one game and the next. However, if you use the right strategies, you can. It just so happens that if you use the Curry method for the MPTE, you can increase your practice exam score by 15 points, 20 points, 30 points. I've seen it. I've seen people increase it by 25%. All right. Thank you all for joining me today. By the way, I've seen it done by students who use the Curry method when I've taught it to them. So I want to give this to you today to see if you can, follow what I'm going to tell you. And if you can get that score improvement for yourself as well. So I'm going to give you one of my big secrets called the Curry method. And it's how you improve your score dramatically between one practice exam and the next. I'm going to give you 3 things that I want you to think about. Number 1 is going to be understanding the concept of low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. Do you know what that is? All right. Well, the idea of low-hanging fruit is instead of you having to like climb the tree and knock all the apples down, first, just get the ones that are hanging really low, like hanging low on the tree where you could just walk up to it and pick it off. Don't try to actually like climb the tree and knock all the ones that are on top branches. Don't do that first. Just get the ones that are low hanging, right? Low hanging fruit. So that same concept applies to the MPTE and your practice exams because there's going to be low hanging fruit, which is like points for you. It's questions that you're getting wrong that you can easily get back if you make the right adjustments. That's what low-hanging fruit is. Every single one of you, Kylie, Jamie, Hannah, Angelica, all of you have low-hanging fruit right now that you're just not taking advantage of. So then the question becomes, well, Kyle, that's fantastic. How do I figure out what that is? How do I find that low-hanging fruit? Okay, well, that's going to be number 2. And that's going to be filling out your mistakes notebook. Filling out your mistakes notebook. It's really important. You need to get yourself a notebook that is just going to be for the mistakes that you're making on your practice exams. All right. We need to get yourself a notebook. You're going to use your special pen. You're going to use your special notebook just for the mistakes. And as you go through your practice exam results, I'm not talking about what you got out of 200 or what you got in the musculoskeletal section. I'm actually asking you to go into the questions and find what is the mistakes that you keep making. And I need you to write that down in that notebook. All right, let me give you an example of a mistake. A mistake is, oh, I continuously misread questions. Like I skip over a word or I misread a word or something like that. You write that down in your notebook. All right. Then you go to the next question, go down. Oh, it's like, man, this is another question where I misread. Yep, ×2. Keep going down. Oh, this is another one, ×3. Oh, actually, this next question that I'm looking at, this is actually one where I added information to it. The question didn't say that the person had a right CVA, but I put that information into the question. Yep, write that down. I'm putting information into the questions, or I'm adding more information than what's there, right? And you add all these mistakes that you're making into a notebook. You go through all of your practice exam questions like that, right? Figuring out what are the mistakes that you are making. This is the Curry method, y'all. And so what you're going to do is you're going to start looking at all the patterns that are keep going on. Like, how many times are you making a certain mistake? And now we can find your low-hanging fruit. All right, because if we fix that one mistake, now we get 10 more questions right because you fixed the mistake that was continuously happening over and over and over again. Why do I call this the Steph Curry method? Well, the reason why Steph Curry can be, one way during a game and maybe not playing so good to being exceptional in the next, or the way he can improve his performance over time is because he takes a whole bunch of shots, whole bunch of repetitions, right? But then he also he doesn't necessarily pay attention just to how successful he is. He pays attention to the mistakes that he makes when he's shooting the ball. All right, do y'all hear me? So he's on the three-point line. He shoots a whole bunch of repetitions. And when he makes mistakes, he keeps track of those mistakes. He writes those down. He keeps track of them. And then he figures out, what are my low-hanging fruit? What is my things that I can do right now to rapidly improve my performance? That's what I'm telling you all to do right now. That's why I'm telling you to get yourself a private mistakes notebook, and you're going to write down all the mistakes that you're making. Does this make sense, Brandon? Please ask me a question if it does make sense. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is pick the easiest mistakes to fix that will yield you the most points. So when you have your entire mistakes list, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go through, see what type of mistakes you're making. I want you to highlight the ones, and let's say you can take a green highlighter, right? Green highlight all the mistakes that you're making of one particular kind, like misreading. All the misreading mistakes you're going to highlight. And then all the mistakes that you're making with adding in additional information, you're going to highlight a different color. And all the other ones, you're going to highlight different. Okay. And so you have a bunch of different highlights, right? Well, look at how many highlights are green, how many highlights are red, how many highlights are yellow and blue and whatever. Take that number, find which one has the most, and we need to fix that problem because that's your low-hanging fruit. That's your one where if you fix that one mistake, you will dramatically improve your score between the practice exam that you just took and the one that you're going to take in 2 weeks from now or a week and a half or however long. All right. That is how we improve our score dramatically, y'all. Dramatically between one practice exam and the next. All right. So going back through these, Thomas, great to have you, baby. Understand the concept of low-hanging fruit. Fill out your notebook. Go out to Office Max today. Just grab yourself one of the very cheap, a Walmart, whatever, wherever you go. Grab a cheap notebook, your pen that you're going to use for your mistakes notebook. That's going to be that. And grab some highlighters as well. You're going to need that. And number 3, pick the easiest mistakes to fix that are going to yield you the most points on your next exam. All right. I'm telling you, if you do this, if you hone yourself in to that mistake that you keep making, if you fix that mistake, it will dramatically improve your score, and you will be like, wow, how the heck was I able to improve my score by 20% in the past week and a half? Curry method. If you have questions about that, go ahead and put them down below. I'd be more than happy to answer it for you. Thank you for joining me today. For those of you who are in the NPT Prep Success Coaching Program, tune in. We got our lecture coming up with PEDS and motor learning. I cannot wait. That's 11 a.m. Eastern. And for those of you who would like to pass and need to pass the October exam, the October NPTE, I'm telling you what you really need to do. I highly recommend that you do this. On July 1st, 12 a.m., right when it hits 12, applications for the NPT Prep Success Coaching Program, the PT Hustle, are going to go live. www.thepthustle.com. You can go to that website July 1st, 12 a.m., fill out an application, and let me take you to the next level. As always, keep learning, stay committed. I'll see you on the